What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another draft of our Avatar Bronze to Mythic climb. We are in Diamond and in the home stretch to making it to Mythic, so let's see how we do today. Pack 1, pick 1. Here we go. Empty City Ruse is from the bonus sheet. Target opponent skips all combat next turn. Sorcery speed, 1 white. There's a lot of really good cards on the bonus sheet. I don't think this is one of them. Our rare is Iroh. We have first picked this before and felt a little trapped with it, honestly. But looking at the rest of this pack's awful, right? Like, North Pole Patrol has been decent. Compassionate Healer and First Time Flyer are decent 2-drops. Everything else here is practically already filler. Like, I expect to wheel nothing. Not a single lesson in this deck for us to even wheel. I'll take Iroh and not be super locked down to it, and basically expect to wheel nothing. Interestingly, if First Time Flyer or Compassionate Healer do wheel, I would actually take that as a pretty big signal. This pack is really weak, and if either of the only really, I would say, good cards in this pack wheel, I would say that color is pretty open. So we'll see what happens, but Iroh first pick, I think, is a pretty easy grab. Dragon Tea Shop, any color for allies. Iroh is an ally, so it fixes for him. Momo's been pretty good. Tea Shop's been very good. I weirdly feel like the uncommon land is almost better. It doesn't have the 5 mana plus tapping this, so 6 mana make a 1/1, which I've literally never seen used personally. But it filters. It taps for any color for lessons, and then you can pay 1 and tap it to get any color. I actually think that one might be generally better. Momo's good. I don't know if he's like better than just taking a rare land and trying to build a little bit around allies and such, but staying really open. The land is good. It's going to make our deck 99.9% of the time. Speaking of the other one, the uncommon, I actually think I grab it here. White Lotus Hideout for the lesson deck is super good, especially since we're going to be playing 3 colors with Iroh. Abandoned Attachments is an okay lesson. I'm not too upset about giving it up third pick to get fixing. So far we have Iroh and excellent fixing, excellent fixing. Not the worst place to be. There's a Path to Redemption here and a second Gather the White Lotus. We could have had 2 of these already. That's insane. This card is really good in exactly mono white, and there's a world where this was the path we took. Problem is, we would have had to, after taking Iroh, take just like Momo instead, which is a 4th color and not at all close to what Iroh wants to do. And then gone, Gather the White Lotus, Gather the White Lotus. But here there's a shared roots for us pretty happily. It's a lesson for Iroh, can be cast off White Lotus Tea Shop quite easily. I do think playing white in the lessons decks is very good, and that's because the 2 white lessons that you care about are Airbender's Reversal and Airbending Lesson, and they're both insane. And both of them, Iroh says during your turn you can cast lesson spells, so you cannot use the Airbender's Reversal on your opponent's turn to destroy target attacking creature, but you can use it to airbend Iroh and protect him. I also think it's the best card in this pack by a pretty decent margin. Origin of Metal Bending's fine. Warbending Lesson's fine. I think the removal spell is absolutely a must-take here. Now, as much as we want to be playing lesson, I think having just good creatures is going to be important as well. And Top the Blind Bandit is pretty good. We don't need to talk too much about this. The thing is like right now we could just be like a good, green-white deck just splashing Iroh. You don't need a ton of lessons for Iroh to be pretty darn fantastic, but you do really need, in my opinion, the red lessons, the removal spells. And that's where Airbender's Reversal can kind of help with that a little bit, getting a removal spell in the graveyard, but it can't be used with Iroh. So, the fact he's only during your turn definitely nerfs his overall power. In Midnight Hunt, there was a rare that basically said all of your spells in your graveyard have flashback, and the downside to that was your spells, no spells could be countered, so you couldn't have a graveyard of counter spells and then just have a creature in play that made your entire graveyard be counter spells again. But that card let you cast spells on your opponent's turn, and it was huge. Like, very often, you basically got to untap and play your entire graveyard. Iroh's in a similar spot. You really want to be playing him on 7. Playing him on 5 with no protection or value from him feels pretty gross. Or 6 and no protection value feels pretty gross. You can do it, but if I'm not getting at least 1 card out of it, not too happy. Yip Yip is not a lesson that I'm going to be slamming here. I do think Ostrich Source has been pretty good. It's good in the lands decks. I've been relatively unimpressed with Long Fang, and everything else here I think is super mid. It also fills the graveyard for Iroh, so we can get lessons in the graveyard without having to necessarily have cast them. But we also just need to be playing to the board, right? So a really easy way to lose with kind of this Iroh lessons deck is you're just playing a bunch of lessons that draw and fix and do all these things. And you don't actually have a way to win. Here, this is a controversial pick, but I think True Ancestry is a no-brainer. I've been very unimpressed with Firebender's Ascension. I say it all the time. The Boulder is very good, but I think True Ancestry here, getting back Iroh after it's, for example, removed or, unfortunately milled, is important. It's also just been kind of an overperformer. This pack is yucky, but we did wheel the Earth Village Ruffians, which I think I'm pretty happy to play. We're nearing a point of basically being mono green. I would look at Rock Lanch as a very real pickup. Walltop Sentry's easy pick. Green actually seems wide open. Is there a world where we are just mono green? Like maybe we splash for Iroh off of a shared roots and the hideout and whatnot. But like, if I'm mono green, I don't even need the White Lotus hideout, and I can just play the Jasmine Tea Shop as a land that makes 1/1s, and then everything else being forests would be nice. Ugh, this pack is yucky. I'll take just the removal spell. There's a world where we play it. This is interesting so far, for sure. True Ancestry only returns a permanent card. Wow, we're still getting good green cards here. So we can't use it to return Rocco Lanch, which is sad. Oh, wow, yeah. 13th pick, Origin of Metal Bending. Green is wide open. We could get past like another Badger Mole Cub or something like that. Oh, what a choice. Legend of Roku and that Rocco Lanch we so desperately were talking about. Like this card in our deck would be amazing. But I think Legend of Roku, when we already have a red card in Iroh, is just too good to pass. Exile the top 3 cards of your library until the end of your next turn you can play it. So it's a 4 mana, essentially draw 3. And then to help with that, on your next turn you add a mana of any color. And then this flips into a 4/4 that just has to be killed, right? It's a 4/4, Firebending 4, pay 8, make a 4/4 flyer with Firebending 4. If you flip this and attack with it, you win. So we're gonna take it, because this is a win the game card, and Rocco Lanch kind of isn't. And now that we have definitively red in our deck, I think Boomy's Bash is a no-brainer here. Fire Sages has been fine, but we're pretty removal light. And although Boomy's Bash is not a lesson, you can still flash it back for its full cost with Iroh, and that's great. For betting lessons, very okay. Boomy's Bash, great. So I think we're confidently playing now Iroh. Maybe these white cards don't make the deck, and we're just red-green splashing for big Iroh. We have a Barrels of Blasting Jelly, but I think Uncle Iroh here is important. It's a 3-drop, it's 4 power, it fire bends, it kind of just does everything we want it to do. It also very often eats removal spells, and it doing its job of that even is pretty good. Bitter Work is the payoff for having a whole bunch of creatures to power 4 or greater. Right now we have Uncle Iroh, occasionally Toph, occasionally Ostrich Horse, Roku when he flips, Iroh when he's attacking, and Rebellious Captives after it plays. This card generally has kind of been an underperformer, but it's still very decent. Problem is it doesn't want to be played on turn 3, funny enough. It wants to be played much later in the game. I think I will... Oh, this is tough, actually. I think I kind of want the horse. No, I'll take the Bitter Work. It's fine. It might be cut. It's like right on the chopping block. I don't think any of the cards in that pack are like, oh, I'm definitely playing this. Ooh, I'm definitely playing the Boulder, in contrast. I would love to pick up a Rumble Arena at some point, and our Fending Lesson wouldn't be terrible in our deck, and Tiger Dill is becoming better and better, but the Boulder just does it all. 4-mana, 4/4, ally, or not an ally, but that Earth bends every turn, potentially. Synergizes well with some of our 4-power cards. This is like a payoff and self-engine for the 4-power matters cards. It makes Bitter Work a lot better, because it makes a 4/4 for itself, it earth bends, it does all the things. So right now we're looking like we're red-green splashing for, wow, Bossing's a 6-pick. Green is so open, it's absurd. I would love to just keep getting paid off for being in basically mono green. And with being in green, having cards like Shared Roots, and eventually cards like the Harrow lesson, double splashing for Legend of Roku and Iroh seems a lot easier. Unfortunately, Legend of Roku is neither an ally nor a lesson, but this is why I kind of like the White Lotus hideout, is it really does help with that. I've come up quite a bit on Flopsy being good. Uh, it is quite the late game drop in a lot of games. It kind of closes things out in a way that's very difficult for your opponent to deal with. Because even if they kill it in response to it coming down as a 4/4, it's a 6 drop that 8 an instant speed removal spell. I put a 1/1 counter on everything your opponents that you control. Now, there's not a ton of things that instant speed kill this. Like the cheapest thing I can think of at instant speed that kills this is the 4 mana exile anything in black, sold out, and then you can pay kicked firebending lesson to deal 5 to it. Maybe if you have combustion technique ramped up enough, you could do it. Mashu City is a huge pickup for us. We really wanted to have at least one of the tap lands that you can sacrifice to draw a card. It's crazy with Bossing Say. It's great with the Boulder. We did wheel this Rocket Launch, and I think we're playing it. I think we have enough green that I'm basically going to be just splashing for these red spells. Uncle Iroh is mono green if we want it to be. So really, we're just splashing for Booming Bash, Legend of Roku, and Iroh. Maybe Bitter Work, right? Like, the thing about that, though, is I maybe want to play less of these not forest lands. We'll have to see on our total number of forests. I want to be in the ballpark of playing like 10 forests for me to be happy to play a Rockavalanche. So as per usual, I'm going to put the cards that I'm like not really sure I'm going to play. Looking less likely like we're white, but with how good our fixing is, I want to just keep this in mind. Like, let's say we open an Appa. Like, I could play Appa. I'm going to take a Barrels here over Earthbending Lesson. I've been very whatever on Earthbending Lesson. I think one copy of Barrels in most decks feels pretty good. I don't like Yuan Archers that much, but we do need 2 drops potentially. I think that's better than taking a black green hedge land, and I'm never playing this Fire Nation Warrior. This mountain's a mountain. Azula is probably the hardest card possible for us to splash. Uh, it is a bomb, don't get me wrong, but double black and blue for a non-ally creature is like impossible. Unfortunate. But that's okay. We have a Boomy's Bash. I think it's a lot better than Cave of Two Lovers here for us. And Earthbending Lesson and whatever is all pretty filler. Boomy's Bash is not filler. It's removal. It's primo removal, I would say. Whoa. Second Iroh. Kinda don't even want it. I want allies at last. I think this card is insane as an instant speed thing. And the thing with Iroh is he flashes back non-lesson cards for their mana costs. So this will be flashback costs 1 less for each ally. So it will still be flashback for green. I think it's better than taking a meditation pools. And it's very possible this second Iroh will wheel. Now this is an Iroh I will play 2 of. Happy to do that. We need some 2s for sure. There isn't really one in this pack, and I don't count Aang's Journey as a card I really care about playing most of the time. Second Bitter Work is not exciting. Second Airbender's Reversal is quite exciting, but it's not really a 2-drop either. Play the Turtle Duck. We need early game, and man, does it block well. I'm not playing 2 Bitter Works, and I'm not playing another Earthbending Lesson. I'll take the Duck. There's a world where we care more about the early game enough that we say, yep, wow, this pack is crazy. Water Tribe, well, look at this pack. Suki, Water Tribe Rowdier, Cat Gator. So you're telling me that nobody in these first 4 picks cares about playing white, or is heavy black, or is green, so everyone's playing blue? There's not a blue card in this pack, I guess, but what the heck? I don't even know. I'll take a second Allies at last and be just happy about it. I think we're confidently not playing white at this point, as an unplayable rare for sure. Earth Kingdom Protectors and Razor Rings are fine, I guess. Earth Rumble's been really whatever. It is a card that I can flashback with Iroh, synergizes with our Earthbending stuff. We'll have some big-ish creatures we want to fight with, and removal's good if we're not going to have as much early game. I think this Yuan Archers is an easy include now that we can see that we're a little light on removal, and we have 1 cut to make from these 3, assuming we don't pick up any other cards we actually want to play. I'm thinking it's probably Rockavalanche as our cut. I like that it's a lesson. I like that it has its own flashback cost. Iroh doesn't really care about having its own flashback cost because it just could do it itself for 7. If you think about it, if we're playing Iroh and then flashing back Rockavalanche, it's kind of like nothing happened. Definitely don't want to play a War Balloon in this deck. We are not making the mana to make that good. And having a creature big enough for it isn't really a thing either. Could play a second Turtle Duck, I guess. It's the most likely card to make my deck, in my opinion. So we get 2 of these 5 cards right now. Wait, -4, 26. We have 26. So we get 3 of these 5 cards right now. And then all the rest of these are just in the deck for sure. Great pickups. I would take almost any 2-drop right now. I would love a second True Ancestry, I guess, but I think the Rocky Rebuke is way better. When I said I'd take any 2-drop right now, I meant a creature that I can play on turn 2. Because right now for our turn 2 plays, we have Yuyan Archers, holding up Origin of Metal Bending to destroy an artifact or enchantment, Captives, Shared Rootsing, something that somehow went to the graveyard on turn 1. Or no, sorry, True Ancestry, something that somehow went to the graveyard on turn 1. And Shared Rootsing, which is probably our best turn 2 play 99% of the time. If we go like land, Shared Roots, land, Legend of Roku, we're in business. We could also do all of that and then Boomy's Bash, whatever they played. We could do all that, play Iroh, and then be holding up a 2-mana lesson. I'm going to take Yuyan Archers here happily. I think that just makes the deck. And now we get to keep 2 of these cards. Mongoose Lizard, Cycles on turn 2. Platypus Bear, milling 2 cards, and then if there's a lesson, it becomes a creature that can attack and block. How many lessons do we actually have? Not enough for that. I'll just take the Ostrich Horse, I guess. I don't think I'm playing a second one, though. Earthrumble Wrestlers is not terrible. We have a decent amount of Earthbending. I'll take the uncommon to fill our collection. Alright, here's the end of the deck. I don't think we're playing Rockolanch, Bitterwork, Earthbending Lesson, or one of the Turtle Ducks. So we're going to have to figure out what our final cut is here. Maybe Earthbending Lesson is good enough. I don't know. Iroh makes it 1 cheaper, which I like a lot. Iroh makes it 1 cheaper, and then Irohing it is pretty great. What are we cutting over it? It's like, I guess with the pickups here, I don't really want the Turtle Duck anymore. And do I cut a land? It's a 17 land deck. It might be. It might be. In terms of fixing, we never actually saw the Harrow, so our only ways to get the blue for Iroh are off both our fixing lands and Barrels of Blasting Jelly. True Ancestry goes and gets a land. Or not True Ancestry, Shared Roots goes and gets a land. Ostrich Horse can mill a land that gives it to us. I think we play 1 island, honestly. I have a lot of pips, and I want to be able to play my cards out. Earthrumble Wrestlers or Earthbending Lesson. With double Iroh, I actually think Earthbending Lesson might be better. Rockolanch is also good with double Iroh, but as you can see, we're only playing 6 basic forests, and that's not something I want to be risking. Or like Rockolanch is like Earthbend 1, right? Like that's not even an absurd thing to think. Like we have a forest, a mountain, and then any of our other lands as our 3rd land on turn 3, and so Rockolanch is 3 mana Earthbend 1. No thank you. Alright, here's the deck. We're playing Gruul, splashing for Iroh. In terms of things Iroh can do, we have full card flashbacks, right, where it just is good. And then we have the lessons, of course, that would be ideal. Double Allies at Last is pretty crazy. Origin of Metal Bending to protect him, I think, is pretty important. And then that's a lesson, and that's a lesson. Honestly, quite a lot of flashbackable things, and Iroh wants to be played super late anyway. Flopsy's a real 6-drop versus everything else not really being one. There's actually consideration that Earthrumble Wrestlers is better than Flopsy. Our late game with Legend of Roku, Iroh, etc. is pretty great. We're not going very wide. Yeah, actually, I think I'd rather just have the 4-drop to protect myself earlier and have reach for flyers. Okay, here's the deck. It's a little bit of teamer, but really it's Gruul splashing for 1 great blue card. Let me know in the comments how you think this deck will do, and let's see if we can get our first good draft in Diamond. Game 1, on the draw with the barrels. I think this is a keep. I know I have double mountain, but the barrels really do help us here. We have a 2-drop on turn 2 after our turn 1 barrels, and then if we just hit lands over the course of this game, we're going to go 3-4 and then eventually Iroh. Seems pretty good. and we'll stumble into the rest of our early game. As a reminder, we don't have a crazy amount of early game, so having two pieces of it in our opening hand is pretty big. And then we just draw the forest, you know, so why even care? Turn 2 captives, have it get quenched. Oh, this looks like the Ancestral Visions thing then. Oh. Bant. And they're taking turn 2 off to cycle. Seems fine to me. Well, in that case, I will get in for 2. And play a 3-drop. Just keep up the pressure. Next turn we can play an Earth Rumble Wrestlers. Legend of Karuk. Alright, this card's pretty slow, but it is really good. And when it comes down on the backside, we will hopefully be able to immediately kill it. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep playing stuff to the board and getting in for damage. Land drop next turn would be great, because it means we have an extra damage for Earth Rumble Wrestlers. I don't know if I discard Iroh off of Yuyan Archers. Like, let's say we don't draw a land next turn. We just draw something dinky. If they have, like, the other rare Earth Kingdom Jailer, well, that makes my decisions much easier. I am just going to Boomies Bash that. I assume they're taking Earth Rumble Wrestlers. Ball Top Sentry? Weird. If they have the Quench here, this is pretty bad. They don't. Alright. We do not have a removal spell for Karuk now. Razor Ring the Captives. Yeah. Oh no, we do have a removal spell for Karuk. It fails a Blasting Jelly. That's why I did this. I knew I was doing something right. But every time they cast a spell, they make a 1/1 that essentially is an unblockable but can't be blocked. Sure. I'm gonna start by playing the land. See what they want to do. They were doing this anyway, because if I try to kill Avatar Karuk, I'm gonna do this before they get the clue. And if they have a protection spell, it's a big deal, but they don't. Alright. Next turn, Iroh comes down if we want it to, but we have no lessons in Graveyard, which I don't love. But he's our late game, so we can wait a turn if we need to. Play out like a Yuyan Archers, or even just hold up making a 1/1. Although that seems really slow. Appa also seems quite slow. Rocky Rebuke is absolutely nuts. Goodbye, Appa. I'm playing this and not discarding a card. Getting in for my 2. Remember, this 1/1 can't block, so this 3/1 needs an answer. Okay, that is an answer to the 3/1 at least. We have 4 mana up after that. Earthbending Lesson is nuts. Yes, please. Well, they have something here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't sack the North Pole gates. Whatever it is. Could be like another Razor Rings. Could be a Yip Yip. I guess it's a Yip Yip. Appa. Uh-oh. I'm gonna airbend that. Sure. I guess I have the reach to protect against Appa. But that's a pretty darn good mythic. That is a pretty darn good mythic. If they have like an airbending staff or whatever, this game's over. Because I cannot stop them from doing this combo at sorcery speed. Oh, draw 7. Land would be great here. It lets me play Earthbending Lesson. Or Boomies Bash. I'm just going to do that immediately before I lose the game. Yep. Do I offer... The trade with wall top sentries now. Obviously attacking with this. Maybe. Because it means they aren't double blocking the mountain then. I guess the 3/3 is like never attacking because of Yuyan archers. Just drew 7. I guess I should keep back my sentries. We don't know what they have. Alright, I'll double trade. Fine. I get my land back. We need Iroh to pull some serious weight here for us. And that starts with drawing a land. I'm really glad to see them play that now. That does not matter. Spider Kids, sure. That's a good use of the Yuan Archers, yeah. The Spirit Water Revival drawing 7 and Appa just being a value engine is proving to make this quite difficult. Legend of Roku would help a ton here. Alright, I think I just have to play this and hope. I don't think we can get away with waiting any longer. I can't just play Earth Village Ruffians and just pass. I'm just going to lose. Well, let's see if it sticks around. I'm going to venture to say no. Yeah. We got bombed out this game. Didn't really get a chance to play our bombs. And that's the game. I will say Spirit Water Revival has gone up quite a bit in my assessment over the course of the last week or so. It's just really annoying. Like 3 mana, it replaces itself, and then at later points in the game where you can pretty confidently just waterbend the rest of it away, it kind of just wins the game. But they have so much card advantage here. I don't really feel like I even have a shot. Right, they're 5 cards ahead of me, and I'm drawing a land. Good game. Well, bombs be bombs, and if we're gonna lose games, we want to lose them while we're still at rank 0 diamond, right? It's like a free loss in terms of rank. Obviously, I'd really like to win some games. Let's rally back here. Really wants me to have Iroh in my opening hand, huh? I don't think I can keep this hand on the play. It's pretty bad. So I will mulligan it. This is way better. Like, way, way better. What do we put back? I feel like it's... I don't even know. Do I go like Rebellious Captives on turn 2 on the play? I feel like I don't. I feel like I go Shared Roots most of the time here. And we have the land that filters, so that's pretty darn important. I'm gonna Shared Roots for red anyway. It's way more important I have red. And we're just gonna slam the boulder and then True Ancestry it if it gets countered or removed. We have red, white, blue. A lot of possible. Oh, that's really annoying because it doesn't come back. I do not want this land. I want that land, I guess. Sure. I'm not True Ancestoring a land back to make a clue. I think that is not the way we win this game. We have an Allies at last to blow up whatever they... Oh, we're facing the Shrine deck. Interesting. Well, in that case, Slam-a-Dammer, get him for 3. Still not going to True Ancestry to make a land. This has to attack for this to work, so... Spirit Oasis, draw a card. Yep, it cycles. These lands are killing me. We go to combat. Razor Rings, yeah, whatever. That I will True Ancestry, and then use it to discard this land in hand. If I don't draw a land, it means I can't use the clue, but I don't think that matters this turn. I need non-lands. Oh my goodness. 3, 6, 7, 8 in the top 14. You're kidding me. Whenever they want, they can just play the Boulder. Yeah, that's pretty good. Make make two 1/1s and draw a card. I cracked the clue, obviously. Sure, another land. Sure, another land. This is not right. And I can't attack into this garbage. I'm getting tilted. This is very frustrating. Take the 3, why not? We have an allies at last, and we can make 1/1s every turn now, I guess. But they're so far ahead on lands. Yep. Now, the Spirit Oasis is not a May. So they do have to be careful eventually about milling out, but they're so far away from that. Yeah, this is pretty frustrating. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands in the top 16 now. Glider Kids doesn't really work because we have the archers, and I can start making 1/1s, I guess. Wrestlers is fine. I'm gonna hold the land to make the wrestlers bigger and have trample next turn. Because it's whenever a land enters, or if a land is entered this turn, or if you control a land creature, which we don't. Alright, that requires us to blow up the Glider Kids, because it becomes too big for us to block with reach. And I have Octopus form for it, because why don't they? Make another 1/1, put a 1/1 counter on everything, go get a land, draw a card. Yeah, it's the Shrine deck just getting to play perfectly. Now these are 8/8 prowess creatures now. And I definitely want to have a 2/2. It doesn't matter. This is so frustrating. We're going to draw another land, by the way, because that's how this always works. We're going to draw our Amashu City, because the game is like, hey, you know how you have Bossing Bay, the only land that matters in your deck? Let's have that be the only land you never see. Get me out of here. This is... So, variance is a part of the game, and that's fair, but this is really tilting. I mean, what should we have done differently in that game? We drew 9 lands as our draws. We're never winning that game. Like, the game decided you don't get to win that one, and you have to shake it off and move forward. If we're going to have drafts like that, it's best to have them when we're here at the bottom of Diamond, but I am a little tilted, to say the least. We're losing resources pretty fast this way. We've been doing really well up until this point, but I don't really know what we should have done differently that game. Hey, a keepable hand on the play. I like it. Turn 1 Umashu City, turn 2 Shared Roots. I think ramping is better, so that if we hit any of our 4-drops, we can play them. Brush it off. Got a whole bunch of magic still to play. Here, I don't want to get my forest, so I can play double green card. I think that's more important, because we have Jasmine Tea Shop for Iroh anyway. Red, blue, Master Paku, you got it. I'll play... I don't really want Boomy's Bash on Master Paku on turn 2. So I won't. You can't make me. I'm going to play Barrels of Blasting Jelly, or I'm going to discard Barrels of Blasting Jelly and hit a 2-drop. I was like, if I don't hit anything, I can just True Ancestry it back, honestly. It's not bad. It's a removal spell. We have Boomy's Bash potentially next turn if Master Paku gets problematic, but... Ooh. Target creature fights target creature I control, or they control. Earthbend 2. Yeah, this is why this card's annoying. Like, it doesn't actually work here. Right? Like, I guess I can hold up Origin of Metal Bending. Like, I can True Ancestry Barrels. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll True Ancestry the Barrels, and then be holding up the Clue and Origin of Metal Bending. We miss a land drop, and obviously if we hit a land drop, we could play Barrels, but if I crack this and I don't draw a land, I think that's so much worse than holding up Origins of Metal Bending. When they have a Parrot and Master Paku, and likely are just 4-color natural, huh? Who needs fixing? We'll just play perfect mana. If you can't tell, I'm a little on tilt after that last game. And the game before, honestly. That's okay. That's drafting. Can't win them all. We're in Diamond, right? We're playing against, all high-level good people. Although, we're playing a gold person right now. We're thinking hard about this one. I swear, if they just start playing Shrines after playing no fixing and just drawing perfect mana, I'm gonna lose my mind. But we're thinking really hard here. This seems like a Rocky Rebuke. They're trying to decide how they want to do it. That'll be my guess. We're gonna start by going to attacks. Sure. Uh-huh. I'm not blocking Master Paku. I have no lessons in my graveyard, or in their they have no lessons in their graveyard, so you can get him for 1. You have 4 mana up, he has prowess. I'm not getting absolutely blown out for no reason. Yeah, I have an Origin of Metal Bending, but there's a lot of ways that even with this, I just get destroyed. And it's just not worth it, right? Like, I'm putting myself in a position where I can get absolutely rolled for what? To kill a Master Paku with no lessons in the graveyard? I'm not worried about it. I care way more about the fact that they could just Rocky Rebuke here, and I need a... And so now I'm still going to crack the Clue. This is what I was planning to do all the time. We would have drawn the land. Sad. That's okay, though. Decisions. They have all open mana. I'm going to guess they have a Tentacle Grasp, the 1 mana, untap a creature and give it +1/+1 hexproof until end of turn. I just want to play a Barrels and pass again. Like, make them waste their mana, right? They just spent turn 4 doing 1 damage to me. And I spent turn 4 playing a 2-drop, drawing a card. Yep. Hard reset, we do it again. Still 0 lessons in the graveyard. Sure. And I am going to block here, because a card that gives it prowess isn't good enough. Okay. Prowess. In response to prowess. So now my creature doesn't die, and yours dies to it. And this is why we waited. Like, if we had double blocked Master Paku, this still would have not gone well for us. Although I'm very surprised they attacked the Master Paku with just Razor Rings up, but I'm not upset about it. And now, Earth Rumble finally actually looks decent. I get to Earthbend 2 on Umashu City. And then I'm going to have my 4/2 fight your 1/3, and I'll pay the ward with my island. You draw a card. Oh, you don't have a lesson in the graveyard. Razor Rings isn't a lesson. And I get in for 8. Alright, playing Patient. Watch them play a Swamp or whatever. Like, yeah, like, what are we doing here? So, we're blue, red, white, but we have double green in the deck, and an Earthbending lesson. Is this like I picked up a Uncle Iroh late, and now I'm trying to make it happen? I don't really know. I think we Boomy's Bash here over Rocky Rebuke, and hold up instant speed Rocky Rebuke. Well, Wrestlers might be better. Might be better to play Wrestlers. Yeah, it's more mana efficient. I play the wrestlers. I use the wrestlers because it can't attack anyway, so if they have a trick, I'd rather they kill the wrestlers. Alright. Whatever it was that was holding priority there was not something that dealt with the problem at hand. I'm gonna guess it was like, well, I mean, if it's like a lightning strike, why wouldn't you kill one of my creatures? Alright, getting 3 life's pretty big here. Walkers are pretty big here. Earthbending lesson. They have no mana. How do I want to do this? They can't attack with the lion turtle, and I'm not really worried about blocking it or killing it. I could Boomy's Bash one of their guys. I kind of don't care. I think I just make a forest a 4/4 and attack with everything. Like, they get the positive block of the 2/2 on the 4/2, and then a neutral block of a 1/3 on a 2/2, and then they take 10 down to 1. I'm fine with that with them top decking. I want to give them the minimum number of turns possible to stabilize. Yeah, so I get to keep Master Paku. I have 3 creatures and possibly 4 creatures if Rebellious Captive sticks around and I can Earthbend off of it. I have a removal spell on the board in Barrels of Blasting Jelly. They have no shrines in deck, so this is just go get a land and gain 2 life. Yeah. Fill me for 2. Alright, we got a game in. Shake it off. Any day now, opponent. You are super duper dead on board. You block 1 4-power creature and you take 8 down to -5. And that's of course assuming I don't have, oh wait, onboard removal, right? But doesn't really change anything because I have to pay 5 to do it. I guess I can do 10 that way. I will skip this because it seems like they're going to stall us out. I go to combat. I kill you. Alright. 1 game. Shake it off. Let's do it again. And then again. And then again. Just 1 game after the next, right? 1 foot in front of the other. Going for 2 wins. I have 2 removal spells and 2 creatures, and I'm on the play. I like it. I'd love to draw a 2-drop, or even a 1-drop. We have 1. But I will accept this hand pretty happily. And our opponent mulliganed, so that's always a good start for us here. -1 card for them. But turn 1 barrels for them is pretty good. Hey, Legend of Roku, we haven't seen that one. Ostrich Horse can get us the mountain we need, potentially. Unless it gets quenched. Give me a mountain. Not a mountain, but I will take the 4th land. Losing a lesson, which I'm not even upset about, because later that will be good for Iroh. And one of our 2 Irohs that we've seen none of, funny enough. Huh. Not an ally, you say? I will trade, actually, quite happily here. First time flyer is pretty annoying. Damage, awesome. Yeah, really happy to trade there. The reason being, I have plenty of creatures to back it up, and if they start doing lesson things and protecting it, I'm not in a good spot. And the flyers is a good way for us to potentially lose, so I want nothing to do with it. Hey, there's Iroh. We are pretty far away from being able to do that, but that's okay. We have a Rocky Rebuke for the Kyoshi Warriors. We have Walltop Sentries to do defensive things. It is also an ally, so we now have allies at last. Like if they play land and sack the barrels here, I don't really care. We're just in a waiting room to find either a mountain or an island. And Ostrich Horse milling 3 helps us move through that. We wouldn't have gotten any of those off of those. That is a card that needs to die. Uh-huh. Well, I will attempt to Rocky Rebuke it. Awesome. Get that off the board. Another forest is not ideal, but we will just hang out with our allies at last. I do want to play it because if I draw an island or my tap surrounding color for allies spell or my filter spell, it means I can play Iroh. That's irrelevant. I'm not using this allies at last on a Kyoshi Warriors. Boulder's great. Plays under It'll Quench You as well if that's their last card. Next. I assume it's going to get blown up with the barrels, but that means they're not blowing up Iroh or Legend of Roku when we get those. Yeah, the game goes long, we win. We have both our bombs. We just need to find any of our like 7, 8 sources that can cast one of these. Any mountain, which I'm pretty sure there's 5 more of in my deck. Either of my dual lands. Oh. Okay. In that case, I will burn this to kill that. That card's nuts. And they can flip it. I don't want to be in a position where if they just draw a protection spell next turn, I lose. Which, is very possible. Yep. Oh, now we have an Origin of Metal Bending to protect. It also will eventually be able to protect Iroh at instant speed. I still don't think I attack. I mean, I win this the long way. They have a barrels. So I'm going to use this here right away. And the reason being is it being in the graveyard means Iroh can use it for just 1 colorless. In our hand, it's actually harder to use. Makes a clue. You know, a little redraw. Our Nomad Legacy, basically being 4 mana, draw a card. And a 2/2 flyer. Sure. Okay. Another forest is actually very annoying. Here, I maybe don't play it. The reason I don't play it is I do have 2 archers in the deck, and I would much rather discard this. Do I want to trade the Boulder for Kyoshi Warriors and Momo and making a 1/1 Earthbent creature? No, it gives them a free scry. I think the Boulder is fine just being a thing that's going to eat a removal spell here. They may choose to basically just trade off Momo to get the scry, right? Like if they're feeling like in the long, like I win this game if it goes long. Maybe I don't. That card's crazy. But they haven't had allies, so hey, that Yuyan Archers I said, but if I drew, I would immediately discard this forest. Into Omashu City, we're in business. We are so in business. We get to play Roku here. Roku exiles the top 3. He adds 1 mana of any color. I can play Iroh off of that. We're still playing under Dupe, Dupe, Dupe. Dragon Tea Shop I can play this turn. And then I Earth Rumble on the Mashu City and have the Boulder fight Wartime Protesters. Alright, it's game over. I mean, it's not technically, but we get to play Iroh next turn. This is just getting out of hand. Out of hand. I don't even know if it's right to play Iroh. I might want to just keep pushing the board. Although in blue, white, red, the only thing we're actually worried about, I guess, is the, what's it called? Avatar's Wrath. Play a land here. What do I want to do? I can hold up cracking the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Nah, I should still just play Iroh. This is just too good. And Iroh lets me Earthbending Lesson for Earthbend Lesson here. And then I'm gonna Allies at last, and have the Boulder and Umashu City deal their damage to Kyoshi Warriors. I still can't counter this. And then I attack with everything but the Ruffians. And we're holding up Origin of Metal Bending. I'll make this a 9/9 to make it absolutely huge. They could have destroy target attacking creature, which Origin of Metal Bending blows out. Double blocking the Boulder. Doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have trample. Wizard or Twin Blades? Oh. 1/1 counter and indestructible again. Cool. Alright, Iroh. You're crazy. So they basically have to clear the board right now. But then I get to resolve Roku. Roku just comes back. 2 to the bottom. Hey! 0-2, 2-0. And we're right back where we always end up being. This is the game that matters so much. We're 2-2. We go 3-2. We gain 750 gems. And if we lose this game, we're done. It's worth half the draft. Alright. Taps for any color for allies. Turn 1 barrels. Yep, this is a keeper on the play. We do have to hit a land eventually here, but we have the 1-2 with the fixing, and the allies at last being discounted even to protect us. Oh, we hit a land. Oh, the world is good. I slam that. No point in trading. My Rebellious Captives eventually is worth a lot more. Want to pair it. That's annoying. Land. What do I want to do here? I could attack with Toph. I feel like I just play the Rumblers. It's pretty good here. We can make this mountain a 6/6. Corrupt Court Official. Alright, we're not making the mountain a 6/6. We're keeping allies at last. Earth Rumble. I like that a lot. I'd rather have a 4/4. I want to believe. And then I'm going to have the 4/4 fight the flyer. And this is a 4/3 or a 4/4 trample. I don't really want to trade Toph with the Merchant and the Corrupt Court Official. Doesn't seem very good. She doesn't have trample, so I'm not even getting in for damage. Ooh, cycling to get a swamp here seems a little slow. Archers isn't bad. Now I get to do this. And we have allies at last to protect. I wonder what's happening. They're thinking. Black blue could be Heartless Act. Be the protection spell. Azula always lies. Make it a 3/3 and make my creature a 3/3. Interesting. Do I? Yeah, I bonk this first. Because I don't want them to go to blocks. I want extra damage here. So -1/-1 to turn on the Trampler. But they're trading. Alright. I feel like we're in the same spot again, where if they have Day of the Black Sun, I just lose. We had this happen before. Ama can get allies at last. Or Legend of Roku. That's actually a pretty risky grab because they're dying. 4, 8. Yeah, they're just gonna die. This is 10 on board. Woo! Game on with 3 wins after starting 0-2. So another big jump here, and of course, it means we have our first positive draft in Diamond. Although this draft's automatically positive because we started 0-2 while we were at rank 0. So we lost nothing for those 2 losses. So it's kind of like we're 3-1 right now. Or no, it's like kind of like we're 3-0 right now. This is terrible. On the play, 1 lander. Okay. We do have a shared roots here. I think this is a very keepable hand, putting back either captives or Yuyan archers. I'm tempted to put back captives, I think, is the better thing. It's more likely we need the draw discard or discard draw. So captives away. Any color for lessons, because that could be firebending lesson. It's pretty funny. We're going to play any color for lessons, and now any color for allies, and we'll go get our forest. Yeah, the boulder is not an ally, and therefore we need a forest to be able to play him. Toph can be played. That's why I was thinking of getting the mountain for Yuan archers, but Toph can be played off this. The boulder can't. Now if we draw a land, we're in business. Raucous Audience, that's a good turn 2 for them. And we could play Iroh here. Kind of not actually that good into Raucous Audience. So I will play Toph instead. What 4-drop do you want to play? Immediate Ty Lee on the forest. So be it. I had a feeling that was a possibility, but I accepted such a thing. Oh, you're not an ally. Rutrow. Alright, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. Right. I guess I should have animated the Jasmine Tea Shop. Since it's the one for allies and the lessons 1 filters. Any land means we can play Yuyan archers, and a green land means we can play the ruffians because it's not an ally. Any land also means we can play Iroh. Yeah, this is weird. The hope here is that we just get to go the distance. This hand's amazing. If we hit lands, we're just going to win. But Ty Lee is quite the card. I don't really know what's happening here. Filtering for double green to play Iroh. And now they have double green from Raucous Audience to Rocky Rebuke. To play a second barrels. Sure. Forest is huge. I will play my own Iroh. Thank you very much. No attacks, obviously. I'm fine with trading Irohs in any way, shape, or form because I just play my other Iroh. And if they use a barrels to blow up Iroh, that's also fine. This looks like Rocky Rebuke or some other fight spell. Or bite spell. It could be allies at last. Whatever it is, I'm happy to trade. We're reading all the cards. Wouldn't want to mess it up. Can't blame you. If we kill tightly, we are also in business because my forest untaps, and then I can play more car. Okay. Okay. United Front. Disgusting. I really wish I could play the Boulder, it says, because that blocks everything. It does just die, but Toph being a good blocker, and they're spending their whole turn killing it. They're using a barrels. I mean, they've had it all here, right? United Front, Ty Lee, double barrels. Lost Days. Yeah, the Boulder's not good enough. That's problematic because it means they can attack with Ty Lee. I can't trade with it. Everland? Another land. Okay. I can't play two creatures here. So I think I should play the Ruffians. Because if they kill it, I get to Earthbend, which makes Toph bigger. I like that. So like if they spend their turn killing this, it trades up with everything. Are we going to be able to stabilize through a United Front? Badgermole gives all of their creatures with 1/1 counters trample. Okay, that's a problem. No longer really need the forest, so they may be willing to attack with Ty Lee here. Bossing Say is a huge draw. What do we do? I think we just play out our hand, and I'm obviously not draw discarding. Second Iroh, Archers, have no cards to discard. Pass. They can start just popping creatures with barrels, but somehow we're not out of this. Our issue is going to be Trample, but one removal spell for the Badgermole Cub is just backbreaking. I don't even really need to kill Ty Lee anymore. There's one thing that's interesting about Ty Lee. She's really good tempo-wise, but then once she's done her thing, she kind of becomes like a weird like creature O-ring that can't attack. Like she locks down your best thing, but sometimes she's your best thing, and you can't attack with her, so it's like kind of like you're just trading. Attacking with Ty Lee and a raucous audience, but nothing else. Yeah, this makes more sense. You have a barrels, so it's like, you know, do your worst, I guess. I'll block with 2 3/1s on... Nope, not block with 2 3/1s on Ty Lee. That doesn't make sense. She kills both. Block with the Ruffians because I want it to die there. This is a free block. And I'm happy to trade. And Iroh's not really going to do much for me long term. I guess if Iroh's not doing much for me long term, I should block Ty Lee with Iroh. And then block the Ruffians. Just getting all these creatures off the board seems pretty good. See what they want to do. If they have another trick here, I mean, like, Aang's Iceberg gives prowess and eats Iroh for extra trample damage. Sure. And then you have 3 mana after that. Okay. I get to Earthbend 2. We've learned our lesson this time. They have another trampling creature, because they can choose not to take the land, which they should not take the land. Alright, if we top deck an answer right now for Badgermole Cub, we are in business. Nope, we'll top deck another land. Yep, that seems about right. I will Earthbend 2 only as a sorcery. Yeah, I mean, the highs and lows of this deck, huh? Well, we went 3-3. Good game. Yeah, you have double barrels. Like, what were we supposed to do here? They've drawn 5 lands this whole game. We've drawn 5, 6, 7, 8, but first got mana screwed. Okay. Third rare. And a crazy one, too. Rumble Arena is a 4/4 Trampler. Is this even better than just removing a creature? I really don't feel like it is. Uh-huh. There's no way for me to block that I live, right? Like, this has to die so that they don't have trample next turn. Like, block Tylee so we unlock our forest. These trade. And this chumps for the most. And I still take lethal here. Yep, you got it. Well, that was a super frustrating game. I feel like all of our losses were just super frustrating. It's like, what did we do wrong? The answer is we didn't really feel like we did a lot wrong. It just, the deck didn't play the way we wanted it to play. This is a really good deck, and we had really powerful cards that we just didn't see a lot of. Legend of Roku and Iroh not really pulling their weight when we needed them to. Another deck I want to call out that was just notably not bomby. We didn't really get a lot of the cards that you want to see early, and it made it really hard to figure out what we were doing. I've said that before, but grinding to Mythic is all about balancing your variants and making it so that when you don't really get the opens and the synergies and the decks that you feel like are incredible, that you're maximizing your wins so that you can keep your resources high enough so that when you do get that variance, you can capitalize. This one was definitely frustrating because we got variance the other way, which is I feel like this deck is pretty good, and we got matched up into people hitting just absolute nut draws. That Shrine game was absolutely ridiculous. They exclusively played removal and Shrines, all in the perfect order as well, starting with the one that made the monks and then just playing Shrine, Shrine, Shrine into that. Pretty hard to fight back against, even if you do have a good draw. I feel like this deck is great, has a lot of removal, great fixing, good creatures. It just wasn't able to perform, and that is the nature of the game. So we did actually move forward in Diamond because of this, and didn't really break even per se, but didn't really lose much in the way of resources. Couple hundred gems is a drop in the bucket in the long run. We just want to make sure that we're capitalizing on future ones. Hope you enjoyed this draft. If you did, I make these videos basically daily, so I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe, whatever you're comfortable with doing. And I hope, regardless of what you do, to see you on the next one. Thanks!